Hello, everyone. It's been a while since I've been on. Life's been busy, plus markets have been turbulent. In case you've not been following, which is probably unlikely. Um, so that being said, let's get into it. It's been a while since we've been together. So I guess really the past few weeks we had one of the biggest momentum unwinds in the past few decades happen in the span of like 2 or 3 weeks. Prices are gradually kind of coming back, and I mean, let's not jinx it, but yeah, we've also had Hynix list their ADR on the U.S. Stock Exchange, which was a very turbulent thing. We basically had a lot of leverage getting wiped out, but I think that's hopefully coming a bit more in control. The South Korean government has banned some of the new upcoming single stock leveraged ETFs, which is like a good direction. And then, yeah, let's kind of see what's going on. So, one massive thing that has happened is the price of DRAM has skyrocketed in the past month. DDR5 ARDIN, which is what you put inside servers, has surged about 30% in the past like 30 days alone. So the story around DRAM, a lot of people think like, oh, the AI bubble's over, but from which direction is it over? I don't really understand. Like, if you measure uh, a company or an industry's strength based on the price chart, then that's a bit of a strange thing to do. But hey, there's people out there that think price is everything. The only thing you really should be looking at is how healthy are these businesses and what are they doing. So a lot of estimates have come in saying that the quarter-on-quarter price increase for RAM is going to be about 15 to 20%. I think this is still conservative, and it's probably going to be 30, 40, 50%. And if we kind of saw like turbulent earnings this time, uh, I think the future earnings that these companies print are going to be even more insane. I don't think anyone's truly prepared for just how high this can go. Just getting my protein shake in. Went to the gym today. So the other like interesting dynamic that people are kind of saying is that, or well, it's true, is around that there's basically a balance between for your total wafers that you have available for DRAM, how many of them get allocated towards high bandwidth memory versus how many just get allocated for normal DDR sticks. And as HBM takes up more, you're going to have less and less normal, say, DRAM DDR sticks available for people to purchase, which is going to have prices keep pushing higher. So HBM is just this monster that takes DRAM out of supply, and I think some people are starting to catch on to it a little. But yeah, both the Hynix CEO and chairman confirmed supply tightness well into the 2030s. We're just heading into a massive compute shortage, and this doesn't even take into account robots. So multi-year agreements. Hynix is basically removing the price caps. They're saying we're just going to charge the absolute most we can charge you. So yeah, let's head back. Okay, so Nebius jumps more than 10% after Nvidia discloses a 9% stake. This was announced ages ago. This is why, like, whenever people say like markets are efficient, I just laugh at them. I'm like, here is a deal that was announced. I think it was actually like maybe 3 months ago. I think I even covered it on one of the episodes on Silicon Frontier, and the market's like, oh wow, look at this ownership disclosure. And I'm like, it gets a little tiring sometimes, but hey. So, what does Citroni say? Citroni's like this strange, they're like strangely like bearish AI. So, dun dun dun. Okay, all along the watchtower. Let's give this a read. Businessmen, they drink my wine. Ploymen dig my earth. None of them along the line know what any of it is worth. Poetic. Nice. God damn it, it's a paywall. Let's see if someone in the comments has given us a thing. Sounds like you're hunting for AI unicorns that haven't been spotted yet. Good luck finding the ones that didn't get the name. Okay, yeah, it sounds like Citroni's going unicorn hunting, and I think that's a big symptom of this market. Everyone is trying to go unicorn hunting, but you don't have to go unicorn hunting. The winners are the winners, and the winners are going to keep winning, and the winners are going to win more than they've won before. They're just going to keep winning. And it's very unintuitive if you haven't been in reflexive asset classes before, where I think a lot of people want to see the next NVIDIA. There is no next NVIDIA. NVIDIA is NVIDIA. There's no another SanDisk, Micron, or whatever. Whatever is out there is really the stuff that's real. If you're going down the risk curve, you're buying less established companies with more risk that are actually more expensive than the winners. And that's why I'm kind of skeptical where whenever people ask like, oh, like, what do you recommend friends informally or whatever, be like, look, it's just the winners are the winners. Bet on the winners. You don't have to overcomplicate it. Anyway, so the AMD Anthropic deal is, this is interesting. So I think there's an OpenAI complex, right? You think CoreWeave, you think CoreWeave, OpenAI, Oracle. There's a few others. I'm kind of like maybe Microsoft. They're the OpenAI complex, and I think we're now seeing this like other complex form, which is really like AMD, Anthropic. I'm not sure if I'd classify Google and all their TPU-related partners. This kind of feels like it might be a third faction in the whole race. Yeah, but third gigawatt level customer, strong CPU cycle. Anyway, let's see what the actual tweet was about. So target price increased to 640 based on 45 times 20. See, this just is absurd. People are willing to pay 45 to 32 times future years worth of earnings, which is part of the same demand cycle. But in the same breath, they're willing to say memory is cyclical, and this number for most memory companies is between 5 to 10, and this is sometimes like usually less than 5. And it's just so absurd. It's like, do you really think there's a universe in which CPUs go up and GPUs go up and memory goes down? And if you do, that is mathematically impossible, and you really shouldn't be investing in this stuff. Anyway, a winner is just a loser who tried one more time. Don't let that go over your head. Agreed. Right, Tesla launches robotaxi service in Tampa and Orlando. That is really cool. I actually experienced Tesla's full self-driving mode, and it is really smooth, and you feel like you're in the future. Let's see, what is the chart? I've never actually been in Tesla. It's always been like a bit of a challenging one for me to get my head around, but a lot of people do like it. I think it's a great company. Cool. All right. So Oracle's Wisconsin data center just became a case study of how credit risk gets priced into AI infrastructure build-out costs. WE Energy's tariff requires collateral from any developer rated below A-. Oracle now sits at BBB-. So the bill is a $7 billion letter of credit plus $100 million a year on a $15 billion 1 gigawatt site that underpins the $300 billion OpenAI contract. Oracle is now fighting it in country court. Don't let ratepayers backstop stranded asset risk from a hyperscale's capex binge. Oracle is the first credit stress name big enough to get caught by one. Every sub-A developer chasing gigawatt scale sites should expect the same treatment, and counterparty credit becomes a real constraint on build-out timing. I think this is true across the board, where it's like, to finance any data center build-out, you need like a big sponsor behind you, and if you don't have that, it's going to be hard. And excuse me, it's kind of challenging because you're going to have all the small players going to the same big players, and at some point the big players are going to be out of their capacity to actually I guess, backstop more credit or more risk on these build outs. So I think this is going to be a big problem for the West moving forward, not to mention the political activism and rising costs of every part of the semiconductor supply chain. Um, dun, dun, dun. So, okay. Trying to see what is worth going uh, deeper into. So I think Nvidia is really getting hit on a lot of ends from custom ASICs by other model companies. They're also developing their own chips. So like, sorry, I meant OpenAI is developing their own chips. So it's gonna be interesting to see how Nvidia fares. I still think they're gonna do fantastically well, but the market's kind of almost unwilling to budge now. So anyway, the U.S. is now SK Hynix's largest market, generating 65% of revenue. Nvidia alone accounts for 15% of revenue, and yeah, wow, interesting. Micron is looking not too bad today. Let's see. Jensen told me it's Nebius, not Nebius. That's hilarious. Love this. Immigration officer. Purpose of your visit to Japan? Me, tourism. The truth. Attending the annual shareholder meeting of a 40-employee industrial fastener company in Gifu Prefecture that trades below net cash. I'll be the only foreigner, the only shareholder under 60, and the only person who's read all 30 years of their filings. Officer, enjoy Osaka. I will not be going to Osaka. This is fascinating. NASA's nuclear Mars mission is... What is this even about? I've not heard of this. Okay, so NASA's flagship nuclear Mars mission, Space Reactor 1, is slated to launch in late 2028, costing $2 billion, and it'll be first ever flight demonstration of nuclear electric propulsion (NEP) beyond Earth's orbit. So the spacecraft pairs a nuclear fission reactor, generating 20 kilowatts of electrical power. That's not necessarily a lot. It's actually a tiny amount. Like one H200 NVIDIA rack is about 12.5 kilowatts. So anyway, cool. Validate nuclear electric propulsion technology, which is a million times more energy dense than chemical propellant. Interesting. I am not a space person, so I am not going to even pretend that I fully understand what all of that means. Let us pull up Claude and get to this. Tell me more about this. I don't understand. 20 kilowatts does not seem like a lot. Why are people excited about this? What is the breakthrough? All right. Well, let's get Claude on it. The power number is misleading if you compare it to engines you know. Rocket engines are usually rated by thrust and burn time, not steady electrical output. Chemical rockets dump enormous power for minutes, then it's gone. SR-1's Freedom's reactor puts out a comparatively small amount of power, but it does so continuously for a month without carrying an oxidizer or huge fuel tanks. That's the trick. It's not about raw peak power, it's about the sustained thrust over a long time. Okay, So chemical rockets, huge thrust, very short burns, terrible fuel efficiency. Nuclear electrical propulsion, NEP reactors make electricity to electricity power ion thrusters. Thrusters push on propellant, very high exhaust velocity, very gradually. So, ion thrusters trade thrust for efficiency. A single ion thruster might produce as much as force as the weight of a piece of paper, but it can run continuously for months on a tiny amount of propellant. Over a long trip, the efficiency compounds enormously. That's the million times more energy dense comparison in the article. It's about energy per kilogram of fuel, not instantaneous power output. Okay, so it's a flight beyond Earth's orbit. Fascinating. It's continuous power. Very cool. And it's, yeah, wow. Late 2028. So if that's happening late 2028, realistically it's going to happen 2029. Feels like 2029 and 2030 are really going to be when things in space heat up. So, what is this? Okay. Wait, let's go into this because this pertains to Taiwan and China. Help me understand this. I don't know the area. Show me diagrams if needed. Okay, so Kinmen is a small island controlled by Taiwan, but it sits right off the coast of mainland China, next to the city of Xiamen, not near the main island of Taiwan at all. Taiwan's main island is about 100 kilometers away across the Taiwan Strait. Xiamen is only about 3 kilometers away at the closest point. Alright, we're gonna get some visuals soon. Okay, so this is Taiwanese main island, and then they've got this little place here where there's going to be an airport. So this Kinmen sits right against China's coast. Right. The airport is huge. Okay, it's part of a bigger network. Mainland's transport grid. So, what are they saying? So they're trying to build a bridge or a bigger airport. A little confused. Dun, dun, dun. It's like Beijing's building an airport close by. I'm a little confused. Anyway, moving on. So, yeah, Kimi K3, the thing that people don't understand is that it still needs a lot of memory. Doesn't matter what happens to the Frontier Labs business models, all of this stuff still needs memory in the same chips. Cool. Moving on. Wow, that looks very ugly. Alright. CXMT is quickly adding capacity, but still lags larger rivals. Wow, that is tiny. They're the fourth largest DRAM manufacturer with 7.7% market share. But, yeah, I mean, eventually this could grow in the future a lot more, but, I mean, we're already predicting years out. It's so funny when people are like, China's going to flood the market with cheap memory. It's like, why didn't you look at the actual numbers? TSMC is going to hike their prices. They're jealous of the memory makers at 80%, and they're like, we're only at 60%. The earnings were great. Hilarious how price went down once again. Um, cool. Cosby finally finished green after weeks of just closing red. Um, AMD's San Francisco event is tomorrow, which will give us more data around their CPO guide map. Interesting, big day for optics tomorrow, I'd say. Uh, TSMC price raise. Kioxia jumped massively. Mm, cool. I think that's really about it. Yeah, it'd been a while since I've run an episode of Silicon Frontier, so I wanted to get back into the habit. Thank you all for tuning in, and I think we'll call it here. Stay safe out there. Bye.